This college basketball national championship edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Hey everybody, Joe Theismann here. You're listening to SGPN. So do this, let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money Graham with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Oh, hello, Sean.
Hey, what's happening?
Happy Sunday night. We had I think for the haters like yourself who have said the tournament has sucked, great games in the Final Four. Great. Some of the greatest games, or at least one of the greatest games I've ever watched.
No, I mean, that was, the ending of the Houston Duke game, all timer. And then even Florida's comeback would have been a pretty awesome game had it not got instantly overshadowed.
True.
By Houston, or by Duke versus Houston. They're joining us on the line to talk all things college basketball. Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, from the College Experience. Colby, what's happening?
Good day, mate. How are you?
Hello, Colby.
I'm doing better than all these Duke backers. People at Duke Moneyline on their parlays. I saw Moneyline Mac. It was either you or Mac shared the group text that you guys were sharing, basically commiserating our Houston bet. It's over. The Cougs, they blew it. Crazy ending to the game. I mean, just starting, and I guess didn't quite realize it as it was happening, but Duke didn't make a basket in like the last 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Obviously they hit a couple free throws, but that's insane to end their season like that.
Yeah. And those text messages, we do that kind of on purpose to piss off Mac, who's so Big 12. He's so pro Big 12 that we're like, they're done. They're stick a fork on them. Now, I mean, obviously Duke played the better game. It didn't go, I thought it would be more of a 50-50 game. Duke deserved to win that, but then again, not really when you don't score in the final 10 minutes. But part of our handicap, if you go back, I think Noah even clipped this, was I trust Houston's experience. Duke doesn't have experience. And, I had mentioned, I think pre the game that we've never had in the NIL transfer portal era, we've never had a team with more than one freshman starter play in the national championship. Duke came pretty damn close to being the first team.
I mean, Knipple, shout out to him, cash my Underdog entry, promo code SGPN. But Cooper Flag, when you needed him, where was that clutch shot? Where was that get to the rim, get to the foul line? I do think that over the back they called was bullshit.
Bullshit.
And I mean, you don't even want to bring in the refs too much because it didn't change the outcome of the game. Duke obviously blew that game. I'm not being like, oh, Duke should have won, but there were just shitty calls early too. I thought that Duke wasn't getting a friendly whistle at all. But again, I don't want to discredit what Houston did coming back in the way they did was awesome.
I would push back a little bit on that because I thought Houston kind of the possession before, when the putback dunk happened on the missed three on the inbound steal, he gets fouled as he dunks that ball.
Yeah.
And they don't call anything. Now, who knows if he makes that free throw? One thing I will say about Cooper Flag, I didn't like that call, but they were going to get the rebound. If you look at it, I think it's Cryer has the ball in his hand. So if they don't call that, Houston has the ball, 20 seconds left with a chance to win the game. So,
not to mention that you would be out of your mind if you thought that Duke had been given an unfriendly whistle until that point.
There was a missed dunk by Houston in the game in the, I think early second half where the guy gets just completely hit on the dunk, and that's why he misses the dunk. And they're just like, nah, play on. And then that the kick ball that goes clearly off of Duke.
Yeah, I guess it was more just like, especially in the first half, I didn't know what a foul was during that game. So I guess it's more just a bigger point on the ref.
If you're watching Houston and they're not letting the game be physical, or they're inconsistently not letting the game be physical, generally Houston's not winning those games, period.
Well, and honestly, more of it probably was in the Florida game, and maybe some of it's blurring together there. Kramer has the win probability, which again just kind of shows how these charts are dumb. Like, I mean, but also highlights the percentage of the meltdown.
33 seconds to go. There, it's 67-61. Duke doesn't score the rest of the game. On top of that, in that flurry, like they had just given up a technical foul on an inbounds play that was like in the moment it felt
over.
Like momentum shattering. Like they were dominating. They were doing like they had dragged him out to the deep water. They were doing Houston things, and it was like, oh no, they're going to let him back in. And you know what? I had just a couple nights previous. I was in the office late, and I had fallen asleep watching the Jimmy V doc Survive and Advance, and I just couldn't help but think about when the way they talked about the strategy to foul these guys that were just nervous. Like you could see it with this Duke team.
Oh, was
like you knew they weren't like it was one, and they won't be. I guess I'm not a big consumer of all the media, but I doubt it will be profoundly a collapse as much as it should be remembered. And the thing that honestly I thought, you know, the TV broadcast holds a little accountability here. All the people that were backing Duke, finding this a fun Duke team, different than the old Coach K teams, and then they just started showing Coach K on the screen over and over, and it was just like, oh yeah, this is
brought
great.
him down.
We're back to
demise.
We're back to the good old days of where it's just fun to root against Duke, an all-time collapse. And then so I post real quick. I post this on social media. Probably forgot, kind of directed at Sean, but you forgot how fun it is to watch sad Duke fans.
Oh, come on. What? Yes, I picked Duke late in the 4.5, but when it was clear they weren't going to win or they weren't going to cover, I was rooting for Houston to win because Duke is one of those teams you love seeing to lose. Once I realized my bet was cooked, and also to my credit, I was not chirping, hey, this was in the bag. They had it. They had it. And Colby was right. I think the inexperience of the Duke team was eventually what did them in.
And I mean, like we saw this before. Remember, we were on the wrong side of this, guys. I know me and Sean were when we had Kansas. Houston was playing at the Fog.
Oh yeah,
one of the hardest places to win. When Houston goes to this full court press, it is they're so good defensively.
Oh my God! You want to bring up the win percentage? My God, Kansas. You're right, Colby. I forgot how similar that was of a collapse.
And what was it? Self couldn't inbound the ball. Kansas couldn't inbound the ball. So it was like, this is not a fluke in a way. I know you could say, well, dude, their win percentage chances were very low, but they've done this a few times this season. I want to say like 3 or 4 times where once they go to that full court press, the way Kelvin Sampson has them defend, it just makes it very, very hard to inbound the ball, especially when you're a young team. And we had kind of nailed that on the handicap of Duke hadn't played in a lot of close games this year. They're young. And I mean, just
look at and Kramer brought up the win probability chart for that game, youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. And similar, I mean, the first overtime, it was like 99 point something when they were up and had the ball. It was a crazy collapse by Kansas. And I didn't, I guess in my head at the time, I didn't grade that as much as like an awesome finish for Houston. That to me was just like, wow, this Kansas team sucks.
Coaching in college basketball is all about dead ball scenarios. And what I thought was like the little bit that no one will remember, the broadcast is screaming for Sampson to take it. Duke has no more timeouts at the end of the game. They're screaming for Sampson to take a time. He's going to take a timeout to set up the defense. And in my mind, I'm thinking he's not going to call a timeout. He trusts his guys. Yeah. Again, good coaching. They're ready for this moment. Why would you give Duke a free timeout to draw something up? Of course, they don't call a timeout. And I think, Sampson, like in some ways is like head and shoulders above so many of the coaches in this tournament. And it's kind of cool to watch a team. It's kind of like a buzz team. Probably like it where like half the team looks like football players. It's fucking
I'm just
excellent.
Laughing at you
and the way that the way that
Williams reference,
the way that you could tell Roberts said to his team, "I'm guarding flag, like fuck off. I'm guard." Like he's not athletic enough to guard him, but he said, "I'm taking this little bitch." And I'm not letting him score.
And that was part of it, man. I mean, Juwan Roberts has been a dog all year for them.
Yeah.
And you know, we saw Proctor miss that free throw on the front end of the 1-and-1.
Not even close.
Yeah, and Juwan Roberts gets fouled. You know, I don't think it was a good foul call in my opinion, but still, this is a guy that's a low
Colby,
percentage.
real quick.
Yeah.
That in that moment, as it happened, I was like, "Fuck!" I would have preferred no foul call. They had possession. Get it to someone else. Like he's definitely not the guy you want shooting. Anyway, continue.
No. I think most people thought that, but I actually kind of thought he had that like. He's been one of the veterans of this team. So I thought, man, you know, I know he's a shitty free throw shooter, but this dude is, I would be okay living and dying with this guy because all year in big games, I feel like he's made big plays, and to his credit, he steps up to the free throw. I loved it. I think you could see his teammate tried to like, you know, come up and give him some love. He's like, dude, he was locked in. Get the fuck away from me, dude. Don't talk to me right now. So what a story. And how about Kelvin Sampson? I know, one win away from his first ever national championship. He's, you know, I've been a fan of him for a long time, and you know, it's still not his greatest it won't be his family's greatest win because I know his dad, John W. Ned Sampson, was you know, one of 500 Lumbee Native Americans who made national news by driving the Ku Klux Klan out of Maxton, North Carolina. So that's probably the biggest win of his career. Yeah. But shout out to him. But also, Kelvin Sampson referenced his dad saying, you know, I don't know if you guys caught the press conference where he said, like, yeah, my dad told me right before he died to get the hell out of the NBA. It's a shit product, and give me and told me to go back to college basketball. And then he died a couple days later, something to that effect. Yeah, I'm sure he's happy of you know, watching his son kick ass again in college hoops.
No, it's a great story, and leading up to a pretty awesome championship game, we're going to give out our pick, talk a couple props. Before we do, of course, shout out to Edge Boost. Get your Edge Boost debit card, earn up to $750 in cash back rewards. Using the by going over to edgeboost.bet, use the promo code SGPN, get it set up over there, start earning that cash back every month, whether you're playing a DFS site like Underdog, sportsbook, sweepstakes, casinos, wherever you're getting down. You can use your Edge Boost Visa debit card. It's free, helps you out, helps us out. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to get down on all the action for the national championship. Masters right around the corner, props for all the games. Their prop builder super fun. And they accept customers from a bunch of locations. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using that sweet cryptocurrency. Head over to mybookie.ag and use that promo code SGPN. Get up to 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
You know, when Houston was down 67-61, I reflected on to the Spring King, of course, the latest by Luis Perez.
Bastard Arlington couldn't cover the spread.
All the odds were against me playing in that game. I mean, this guy, the wisdom in this book is amazing. But I mean, real other quick observation about football or basketball in a football dome.
Yeah.
Those pit seats behind the baskets on both sides, I think they probably call them like the fan zone or something like that. Like college kids get in for cheap, or paid actors, depends on which program. Unreal how horrible that must be to watch a game from down there. You're watching at ankle level.
Well, Colby's always, yeah, I agree. Those if you're sitting courtside, you want to be actually courtside. Not, I mean, you're probably like looking up the guy's gym shorts depending on your angle.
I'm gonna guess it's actually a cheaper ticket. Like it's probably something they promote to the, like to try to get more of the fan bases in there. But it's just like if you're back 20 rows of people, probably some taller than you, and you're looking like at ankle level.
The side angles are not great. And shout out to Colby, who always finds whatever guy has like the photo of.
I just sent it to you guys.
Section.
Put that thing up. Put that thing up because, like, imagine paying for a fucking. This is why it's stupid. Like, I actually think you should be able to sue the fucking NCAA for like just paying for a ticket. Imagine if you didn't. Actually, like maybe you don't watch the Final Four every year and you're just a Houston fan. You just say, "Oh, let's get tickets," right? And you get tickets and you show up to that. I mean, that to me is criminal.
I'm gonna throw it on the screener. I do not want to be mean, but also like we have a lot of technology that allows you to see what you're walking into.
I mean, I think you would need binoculars even for the jumbotron.
What
right?
a dumb thing we do for this sport.
So see those like U-shaped sections behind the baskets?
Yeah.
I want to know how much if you were in that section,
it's still pretty expensive.
Let me know what there's not, this is actually a strange phenomenon where there's not actually a single good seat in the house. Like the courtside seats are too low.
The raised court makes the seating that much worse.
I don't even know. Like the best seats are probably like the suite level or like the low, like that second tier. It's just listen.
It's the only sport where the joke's on the fan on the final couple games.
Here's what you do. Here's how you fix it. You do a deal with the Sphere and with Cosm and all these places.
Yeah,
you get it back in a basketball stadium, and then you offer experiences in the cities where the schools are from or all across the country. You make your money back. But people keep going. That's the problem.
I bet. What do you think this ticket is? This ticket's probably a few $100, man. That's probably a few $100.
I think I saw the cheapest ticket was on like the secondary market was like in the $300 range.
Could you imagine this though? You take your lady there. What's going on, honey? I can't tell you, baby.
No,
but like judging by the crowd, I think we're winning.
I mean, again, like, what's the point? What's the point?
I actually think you should be able to sue the NCAA because you're like I understand like we're causing awareness to this, but like this happened to me like 20 years ago, blindly. I just, as a kid, it was like a 20-year-old. And
you got swindled by the NCAA?
Yeah, I went to this and it was
Colby is like a class action attorney. Have you or a loved one been damaged by you hurt your eyes trying to squint and see the ants playing down on the field?
Hold on. You and Mac need to do a little sketch here.
Oh yeah.
Like you guys are the partners at the law office. This is excellent. This is excellent.
I mean, look at how ridiculous that is, guys.
McIntyre and Dant will get you paid. The NCAA's got deep pockets, so they deserve to be paying out for these injuries.
This is the equivalent of like a blimp service flying you above the Super Bowl, and saying, "Look, here's your tickets to the Super Bowl," and you're just like trying to look at the play happening down there. It's just, I mean, this is ridiculous.
See what's going on.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but if they're going to be a legal team, McIntyre and Dant doesn't have enough ring. Yeah. I think we're going to need to add Beanick in there.
Oh,
put it there at the end.
At Beanick and McIntyre, we
No. Dant still need, or Dundee maybe. Maybe we get Dundee. In there.
Dundee, yeah. I mean, it's just criminal, man. Like what do you even do? Like, I don't understand the rush of this, but like you're sitting there saying, well, there's a lot of our fans there. Well, why not just go to like a fucking Houston bar? You know what I mean? Or a Duke bar.
The fans just have to stop doing it. That's the problem.
Well, but unfortunately, I think if your team's there, like our buddy Justin, it was like a once in a lifetime thing when the Aztecs got into the Final Four.
And where was that?
To go there. I think it was in San Antonio.
That was
Houston. I think it was Houston, NRG, NRG Stadium.
NRG.
Yeah.
That's at least a modern dome, but I'm sure it's a similarly.
That's still bad though. I think I still made fun of those seats too. And that, whenever that, a couple years ago, like,
at least the jumbotron's a little bigger.
Yeah, fair.
It really is dumb. Like they got to figure this out.
All right, we got some props. We got the game. What do you want to do, Ryan? You want to give out the game stuff and then the props?
I kind of feel like game goes first, and then we get into the prop of it. Late tip, those on the East Coast, 8:50 Eastern, which probably means closer to 9. 6 or 5:50 here on the West Coast. Back in San Antonio, and again, I don't know. I've also been enjoying the parodies of Charles Barkley making fun of the women in San Antonio. Turns out there are attractive women in San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah. Chuck's probably
big old gals.
Well, it's kind of like when Whitlock got caught with those scandalous ads on his ESPN browser and was wondering why ESPN was doing deals with gay porn sites.
Yeah,
he didn't know how the ads worked. Maybe it's where Charles is hanging out in San Antonio. I mean, by the way, imagine screenshotting a web browser where the ads are something like that and trying to suggest something nefarious going on elsewhere outside of your computer.
Yeah.
Doesn't understand how the internet works. Florida, the 1 seed. Houston, also the 1 seed. Love it. Nothing like some good. This isn't chalk though. We got a dog. And for those who have those big Florida tickets, this is the optimal scenario. As I stated on VSiN, do not hedge with Auburn. Wasn't worried about that. Maybe you take a small piece of Duke. Feels like I was right on all sides,
except taking the piece of.
It was a close game, so you didn't have to sweat it. But now you have a great scenario because Houston's going off right now, +1, even money on the money line. 141 is the total. I think the TMZ narrative will be the height of Florida is got to be a problem for Houston. Don't give a shit. Because you know what happens to a gator when you pull him into the deep water?
He's fine.
It drowns like a fucking human.
Really? Gators can drown?
They can't live in deep water.
They can drown though?
Yeah.
I did not know who drowns a gator. Google
sharks.
Really?
Yeah.
They drown gators?
I'm going to pull it up.
Can an alligator drown?
Well, yeah, that's what happens when it gets killed in the water.
Can drown if they cannot reach the surface to breathe. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. But okay. I mean, yes, but they do pretty well underwater for a long period of time.
Bull shark drags gator away from shore.
Yeah. But also it's a shark eating the gator. That's probably their primary problem.
Well, yeah, that's how he kills them. They kill him by dragging him out where they.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they also kill him by eating them and grabbing them and shredding them, right?
Well, yeah, they're fighting. They're fighting to the death.
It's a 2-part problem.
They're fighting to the death.
It's not like an alligator. Oh, hey, you got caught in a current and sucked out, and he's drowning.
Well, in this case, it's good news. They're only fighting a cougar.
Okay.
I mean, we have seen those sick ass videos of jaguars, I believe, from the jungle, just jumping into the water and ripping crocs out. I mean, cats over gators all day. But so the TMZ narrative will be the height, Colby.
Yeah. By the way, our Battlehawks, or Sean's Battlehawks,
my Battlehawks. You dummies. Dummies are talking yourself into the Brahmas.
Let's do it
on the road.
It's 3rd and 12. Of course, they're gonna run with a buck and change. Fucking idiot. Yeah, the height though. I mean, look, to me, this is. I feel pretty good about this play. Like I think Houston's going to win this game. I think Houston has it happened again. It just didn't happen as bad as the previous, 2 outings against UConn and Texas Tech. But I thought Bruce Pearl did outcoach Todd Golden. The thing is that Florida's had the best roster all year. I think it is the best roster, but I do think Kelvin Sampson. What gives Florida problems? Slow paced teams. Look at Tennessee. Tennessee beat them by 20. And really Tennessee plays at an incredibly slow pace, not even nearly as close or as slow as Houston at 360th in pace. And I think this is it. I think when you have a moment like you just had, how about we use the Leitner shot against Kentucky? After he hit that, you knew they were going to win the championship. Right? Like how many times do you see a team?
I guess stuff like that, you can look at it 2 ways. One, is it a letdown spot after a pretty emotional game against Duke? Or 2, is it something that gives you this juice, this confidence of, hey, we're the team of destiny. We deserve this win. And you mentioned the golden angle. To me, that's the strongest angle. And we saw it we saw it against Duke. Sampson is a super experienced head coach. And I think this is going to be a close game. I also like the under. And in a close, tight game at the end, I mean, what we saw out of Houston, not only in that spot, but all season, I think this is, I think you guys are right. This is Sampson's time to shine. And I think the experience over Golden is going to make the difference. So yeah, I'm with you. Houston is the play.
And I understand like you could take it either way there, but I think when you add in that Kelvin Sampson's never had a national championship, Houston's never had a national championship, and Houston has been, this will be their third time in my lifetime, fifth or sixth time to the Final Four. They are long overdue for it. It's in San Antonio, Texas, which I think every Houston fan is going to be showing up to this thing, buying those tickets. So like,
well, and two, like just look at Florida feels almost like a fat girl at the prom. Like they're just happy to be there. And you saw a little bit of that with Auburn. Like once it was clear, Florida came back and Auburn was just kind of like, hey, we got Bruce Pearl got a Final Four. Like they were still kind of happy. I don't think this Houston Cougars team is going to be satisfied with anything but a victory. And the way they close that out against Duke, how can you bet against them right now?
So what's this Gator in for? B&E?
The Gator logo. He seems like I'm surprised Colby used this. This is like a preppy. This almost looks like an Ivy League Gator
or a prison Gator.
Okay, well,
one or the other.
It is wearing all orange.
Now, one of the things I want to highlight too that I think so Walter Clayton Jr. is incredible. Like he's making like Steph Curry, Reggie Miller-ish shot.
Well, we'll talk about his props. I still like his over, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. When I'm comparing, Houston to an SEC team, I thought Tennessee probably drew the best comparison. They beat Tennessee in the SEC championship. He went 7 of 18. Now he still scored 22. But the time before that, he was 3 for 13 against Tennessee for 10 points. The time before that, 3 for 10 for 7 points. I do think Houston is going to give him one of his harder tests of the whole entire season defensively. So, I mean, he could still get the higher on the props, but like I do think that like their guards can fucking defend, man. And that's one of the parts of the handicap I like is I think Clayton Jr. You saw it in the Duke game. I think Duke got a little exhausted from the way that in mid second half, Houston still wasn't making the shots, but the way they were playing defense, Duke got a little tired, man, and you could see that. So I think that's a huge angle too in this on one of the reasons why I like taking Houston.
First time you really saw Cooper Flag with the red pimply face, it was like overexposed. His curly hair coming down his forehead. He did look spent. I mean, that's something Houston does right there.
Yeah.
The other thing I would point out now, Colby, a great point with the Tennessee comp that certainly stands out. But also, Colby, all of the big men, they're not juniors and seniors for Florida. They're all I believe they're all sophomores. And once again, we have. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I believe majority of them aren't. I think they're all. I don't think there's a senior big man on that team.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
They're all the big men are sophomore. One junior, 3 sophomores.
Yeah.
And I think once again you have a grown ass man angle here where it's going to be viewed by most people as a big advantage for Florida. And I would say, I don't know. I mean, I just think of some of the shit I've seen go down at the YMCA or fucking LA Fitness or a random park where old dudes they're not going to let these fucking little bitches come into their shit and win. And it might not be that they're going to dominate, but they won't get destroyed. And to what Colby said about at the end of the game, when Clayton has the ball, I kind of trust this Houston team to play really good defense. What we saw them do against Duke is it was an impossible comeback, and yet they knew it was going to happen. Again, great coaching. They understand what to do in the moment. Here's the last thing I'll say on the quick turnaround. I like their stamina. I think that's going to matter.
I think is the biggest. The quick turnaround and having Kelvin Sampson is your biggest advantage. Todd Golden
and having a veteran team and having a team that whatever just happened in that last game, it's going to create this It almost reminds me, Sean, of when the 2007 Giants played the Patriots at the end of the season, and the Patriots beat them by 3. But they walked away saying we can beat that fucking team, and they did beat that fucking team in the Super Bowl.
Well, walk me through how this relates.
The belief that the energy and the belief that this Houston team just achieved by seeing all the bullshit that their coach has spewed over the last 5-6 years. In the case of Roberts, they win this impossible game. It's like a biblical event, and now they go on to just smash. I kind of think this is a blowout, and I would play props to back that up. And here's the other thing I'd say: Houston's not exactly giving up 70 points very often. So first of all, throw down team total under for Florida on me. It's at 70.5. But Sean, ask me what happened the one time Florida didn't score 70 points this year. They got their ass beat by Tennessee. And it strikes me as that kind of potential game. We've seen this before when we have great semifinal games, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, and then the championship turns into a dud. I think we're going to see.
That's my first prop. And I agree with most of what you're saying, but I like this prop a lot. I like the under 141.5, but I will also give out each team to score under 70 points at plus 220. So if the under is at 141 and you think it's going to go under by, I think it's going to go under by a decent amount. I think this could be like a 67-57 type win for Houston. So I like playing this plus 220 because I don't know if Houston needs to score 70, and I don't think they're going to let Florida get to 70, and you're getting plus 220 and the total is at 141. So yeah, certainly there's a world where one team gets to 70, the other doesn't, and it still is under. But if you like the under, I think you also should be playing this at plus 220, each team to score under 70 points. Colby, what's a prop you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on Juwan Roberts.
Yes.
To be the leading scorer in the game.
Oh wow, okay.
Right?
What's that number?
Plus 3,000. Right?
We should have a conversation because him to be the most outstanding player is 16-1.
So hear me out though. Hear me out. He had 18 against Gonzaga. Right? 8-5 against Gonzaga. That game at the Fog against Hunter Dickinson, he went for 24-9 and just beat his ass down. Right? Just beat his ass down. He's gone over 20 or more. What? I think 6 times this season. No, 7 with the NCAA tournament. Or no, I guess that was 18. So 6 times this season. I think it's in a game where we kind of think, these are the 3rd and 4th defensive rated teams where you kind of think you're going to rock fight. I think if you get 17-18, then he could be leading scorer in the game, especially if they lock down Clayton the way that which is a tall fucking order, but yeah, he's chalk. If it's not Clayton, I think it's anybody. Anybody. It's open game. So I think Roberts makes a lot of sense for the second leading scorer.
Maybe I'm hedging my bets here, but I do like Clayton to go over 19.5 points. He's gone over 19.5. 4 out of the 5 tourney games, 60% effective field goal. He basically got it every game except Maryland. So I think he could get his. And
I think though you look at that Tennessee game. Now he got 22 in the SEC championship, but the other ones were 10 and 7, and that's the risk because I think Houston defends like Tennessee in a way. So
yeah, I think he can get 20 points and not have a game-changing game.
So the price on that was 3,000, Colby.
Plus 3,000 for Juwan Roberts. Yeah.
So all right. So I was looking at him as well because I was more thinking of the narrative. Now Cryer had a nice game points wise. Sharp scored some points, but Roberts is this team's leader, and if he has it doesn't even need to be leading scorer type game. But I might have to tail Colby's plus 3,000 here. But if he has a game where he successfully is involved with basically shutting down these bigs that were supposed to dominate him, and he, to Colby's point, is flirts with the leading scorer. The chances he wins most outstanding play. I mean, I guess how often do you? It's basically Cryer has the edge because he had a big game against Duke, but it does seem like I'll give you all the odds so you can see a little perspective here, because it's basically a 2-man race. You have, let me get the awards up. Clayton at -105, Cryer at +130. After that, you have Emmanuel Sharp at 15-1, Roberts at 16-1, and then Elijah Martin on Florida at 19-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think I
Do you like the
idea.
scoring better or the most outstanding player better? Because the narrative aspect of, I know they've both been there a while, but Roberts has been on Houston the entire time. He wasn't a transfer,
and he might get he might get some of the, to your point, Ryan.
They kind of he has to have a big game if they win, in my mind.
Yeah, well, and that's one of my other props I like. Juwan Roberts over 6.5 rebounds. I mean, that to me is just,
I like that too. That was on my list.
Yeah, we're all on the same page here.
He's gotten that 3 out of the last 4 games. The only time he didn't get it was against Tennessee, where he only played 16 minutes. I would be shocked if Sampson doesn't just let him, load up on him as far as minutes in the game. So yeah, Juwan Roberts over 6.5 rebounds.
I'm playing all of these. Yes.
Yeah. Actually probably good time to shout out Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Get in there, get your deposit bonus up to $1,000 in credits over there. So it seems like we have a consensus that we both like
Colby, do you have any more? I'm enjoying this card I'm building.
Well, let's do the Underdog, because we got Juwan Roberts higher 6.5 rebounds. What's another fantasy projection? And
let me pull it up on my.
I got one for you, man.
Sure.
Look, you know who played a great game on Saturday, but I don't think it'll work in this matchup is Elijah Martin. Elijah Martin played huge defensively against Auburn. But Auburn's guards can't defend like Houston's guards.
Yeah.
So, Elijah Martin was at Florida Atlantic, transferred to Florida this past year. He was on that Final Four team that went to Florida, with Florida Atlantic, but he had 17 points. I think he's going to get locked down this game. He will lock down on the defensive side of the ball as well, but I'm taking lower than 11.5 points because I don't think he's going to be able to get his own shots. So yeah,
it's a low number,
and it's a little spicy too. So Juwan Roberts higher 6.5 rebounds. Elijah Martin lower 11.5 points. $100 entry returns you $315 over at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. And of course, we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Of course, Rhythm closing out an awesome college basketball season, and just in time, they just added baseball. I know Adam Rosenberg, Scott Reichel dominated the MLB prop show using a bunch of player projections from Rhythm. Get in, try your 7-day free trial. You're going to love it. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. So let's, Kramer, what are your props here? Feels like you like the Roberts.
Oh, I was basically I'm playing Roberts every way you can play Roberts. Okay. I'm also playing the points.
Okay. What's his over under on just points?
You can find, so there's again, college props are amazing how wide the range is. 10.5 is the best number I was able to find. So I mean, I don't even know what we call this, but I'm just after watching this dude hit those free throws, my daughter's sitting behind me eating dinner, and I'm standing like a psycho, like 12 inches from the TV, and they hit the free throws, and I just turn around. I must have let out a grunt, and she goes, "Everything okay?" I go, "Everything's great right now." Yeah, no, I'm playing Roberts I'm tailing Colby's points. The most points at 3,000. My two favorite plays were Roberts over 6.5 rebounds and Roberts over 10.5 points. The other thing, so I wasn't able to find this. I want to play a team total team turnovers over for Florida. Wasn't able to find that in the couple places I looked, but I'm going to continue to. I think to what Colby said, that the level of difficulty that this Florida team is going from the Auburn guard defense to what Houston's going to give them. I think it's going to be a problem, and I think we're going to see some turnovers. I think we're going to see some easy buckets, and I would even go as far to say I found a largest lead market.
Oh, okay.
I found some winning margin markets, but why not just play the alts?
Yeah.
How high up on Houston do you go?
See, I like Houston, but I don't think it's going to be, I think they win by like, what did I 57-67 sorry, 67-57 would be my official score for Houston. I don't think it's going to get crazier than double digits, but what is some of the alts?
Well, what I'm going to play is Houston minus 8.5 is plus 320.
Okay.
That's where my model and formula landed.
I have a feeling that could come down to some intentional fouls there at the very end.
Maybe, but I didn't want to get too psycho and go out to like 12 because I mean, Sean, we can get Houston minus 12.5 is plus 550. You know what? Sprinkle the minus 12.5 plus 550.
All right, add those all to the sheet. Colby, do you have any more props you like here?
I do, and I do. Brian Sanders, I do think that Houston 1-10 win margin is probably going to hit there too.
What's that number?
Yeah, what is that number? I haven't seen that, but I think we got to jump in on that. But I'm going to take you to one. Uzan, the Oklahoma transfer that is kind of he got in foul trouble against Duke, so he didn't play his normal minutes. But if you followed the guy, like he kind of wasn't an impact player at Oklahoma. And he transfers into Houston. And if you follow his season, he is a guy that, started out the season, kind of 6, 7, 8 points a game, but man, down the stretch here, I know he only scored 7 against Duke, but go back to that Purdue game, 22 points, the SIU game, 16, the Arizona game in the Big 12 championship there, 25. The Texas Tech game, 22. He's been coming on as a player, 19 in Tucson on February 15th. So he's been coming on. I think he stays out of foul trouble. I think he's also one of the guys that I think is the scariest off the ball, off the dribble threat for Houston. So I'll take. I think I saw his points at where did I write this down? What was it at? It's at So plus 13 at minus 110. I think he can. I think you even bump that up a little bit. I think you go for plus. Give me plus 18 at plus 380.
Yeah, I like. If I'm playing him, I like his assists. I think the way that he's gonna, to your point, he's gonna be able to beat him off the dribble, and then he's not gonna be able to finish at the rim against Florida. And it's going to lead to him dishing a bunch of to a hopefully open looks. So, throw me down for over 3.5 assists for Uzan as well. Let's see, add that to the list.
Kramer's got a shopping list here of all the props he likes.
Oh, I mean, come on, my Houston Cougars finally in the championship.
What about player threes? Do you like a player 3 angle? I mean, Cryer was kind of wet the other night.
They seem high.
Yeah. I think if you look for one, to me, it would be, a lot of them, but you can get Uzan at plus 110 for two threes.
Okay.
Sharp is plus 130, but I don't know if I want that. I don't know, but Cryer had how many the other day? He had a bunch. I feel like he had a decent amount. Elijah
he had that
Martin,
crazy one where he was like running, like that's the other thing, right? They were,
what did he do?
He came off that right now. He came off.
How many threes though he hit? I feel like
3 or 4.
6. He hit fucking 6, dude.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that watching.
Yeah. So
what's
you could
3,
get
right.
3 is plus 130. 3 is plus 130. 4 is plus 350. No, I'm sorry. That's Sharp. 3 is minus 115. So
okay.
That's a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Uzan would be the one you play there at, if he hits 2 at plus 110.
Yeah, I don't mind the Uzan. Cryer, I'm not fading it, but I don't know if I'm taking his over threes. He may have shot his wad as far as heat check moments there.
And you guys know Florida has never beaten the Houston Cougars in basketball.
Really? How many times did they play?
They haven't played since the 70s, but
okay, so that's going to be on all the players' minds.
But Houston is, it's a psychological thing. Houston is 2-0 all time against Florida. They won by 24 and they won by 1 back in 70. That one in 70 we all remember. So it's psychologically they're a little fucked in this matchup too.
Colby, do you have a play on the total here? I don't know if we got a play on your total. We calling it 141, 141 and a half.
Yeah, I'm on the under too. I just feel like they're going to be able to, first off, I think Houston will win the battle of pace. Actually, you look at the Auburn game. When Auburn played slow, that's when they were winning at the first half. And then they said, hey, let's play Florida ball. And that was a dumb idea because Florida just was like, okay. And I think Houston will win the battle of pace.
Yeah, if you're forcing me to take it aside on the total, it's under, but the team total for Florida is a more fun bet for me because I do think there's I think there's blowout potential here. So, and I was half considering because we love reverse correlation, Sean, and
I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be a close game, but Houston wins.
Is this potentially an opportunity to do some alts opposite ways? What do you
for what the under?
Yeah, like under with a blowout.
Oh, I'm not touching that. You're more. Again, I have it 67-57, but
all right, let's see.
I could see it being even a little closer there.
So, all right. So if I move Houston minus 7.5 with under 131.5 is 9-1.
Sorry, wait, what?
Houston minus 7.5 under 131.5 is 9. To reference that Tennessee game again, that was 64-44. Yeah. So you could really.
I like your team total thing. That would be, yeah, I like that. But I'm not.
Oh, maybe I do the alt team total. Great call.
What's the alt team total? That's kind of interesting.
Let's see. Oh, right, here we go. So how low do we put Florida?
I mean, I think under 60 is reasonable.
All right. 61.5 is sitting here for me. So
what's that at?
Houston minus 70, Houston minus 7.5, Florida under 61.5 is 6-1.
Okay.
That's pretty nice.
All right. I'll use that.
Throw that in for me too. That's pretty nice.
That'll be the official parlay.
That's pretty nice.
Houston minus, what was it? 7.5.
Yeah.
And Florida
under 61.5.
Okay.
Oh, I love this. This is one of my favorite bets.
And it's 6-1.
Yeah.
All right.
This might be my lock. Come on. How is Houston the dog here? What the fuck?
I like Brian Sanders one here. He says both team to score under 70.5 at plus 215.
Yeah, that's what I gave out earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know about.
I'm co-signing Brian's play.
Houston could go 20 get minutes hot.
Ago. Wow. Yeah, Graver's throwing in the. Yeah, I don't. 6.5 is that's plenty good for me. I don't. What's your final score prediction, Graver?
I'll go with 7. We'll go 69 Houston, Florida 53.
Okay, Colby, official score
way under the total.
Give me like 68-65 Houston with that dub.
Houston 68, Florida 55. You said
65.
Oh, 68-65.
Is that the over there?
Yeah.
What am I talking? No. How about this?
No, you're under. You're under,
okay.
and you get the both teams under 70, which it was one of my favorite plays there at plus 220. Plenty good options. Head over to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code SGPN. Colby, now that college basketball is ending, what's the college experience? What's the next move? Where are we doing? What are we doing?
Going down. Normally I go down to Columbia and I shoot off machine guns up in the air.
All right. It's a fun celebration.
Yeah. No, we got college. We got this week. We will have a Frozen 4 episode out. We're down to our final 4 teams there in St. Louis, Missouri. We also have college baseball experience rolling along the road to Omaha and college football experience. We've already been pumping out episodes over the past week or so. So get on over there, check out the college football experience and the FCS college football experience. It doesn't stop. This is year round. There's a lot. We're going to be breaking down all these schedules, all these teams. There's, coaches getting fired late into this, the cycle. So coaches getting hired. Frank Wright is now at the with Stanford. Kent State's going to hire somebody. We got Eddie George jumping to Bowling Green.
Andrew Luck is assembling a super team at Stanford.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
His statement on when he fired that guy was hilarious. Say, I no longer think he is the best coach for the future of Stanford.
Well, yeah, no shit. You fired him. Hey, we got a lot coming
real quick before we end the show. We also should congratulate the UConn Lady Huskies.
Yes.
For winning the national championship and making Sean look like an ass for not once, but twice losing a bet on the women's national championship somehow with both.
Well,
first selling a future to CJ that was going to be worth $300 for $100. Yes. And then backing the Lady Huskies, and some say even making a wager on the women's tournament. So potentially 3 L's for Sean in a short.
No, weekend. It was not betting. We was turning over my UConn ticket and then out of spite betting on South Carolina. So CJ it's 0-2.
This is like Tom Brady getting drafted in the 6th round for CJ. She is follow
CJ and his clip odyssey of just finding every way he can to make me look like an asshole.
Oh, I loved how he sent a clip to the producer on VSiN. We were surprised by a clip on VSiN this week. It was fucking excellent.
Make sure you check out the man in the box, Bottom Line Bombs. Check him out. And of course, Augusta right around the corner. We're doing another Splash Sports contest, $25 entry fee, up to $30K in prizes. Pick your 6 favorite golfers and the top 5 score. Very easy to get in and a lot of cash up for grabs. So make sure you check that out. And of course, if you're looking for Masters action, we're going to be talking Masters right after the national championship ends with the guys from the Golf Gambling Podcast. Steffi Small Show also covering the Masters, as well as our buddy CJ over on Bottom Line Bombs. So
wow,
a lot of golf
all
content.
3 days.
Yes,
didn't even realize we're doing Masters week.
Masters week. I got to find my green jacket right.
I think it's somewhere in here. Well, you got. I mean, yeah, we got. There should be at least one floating around the office somewhere. So people are asking if we're going to actually give out our lineup for the Splash Sports contest.
Yeah, why not?
Live on the air.
Yeah,
because people could dupe us.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what I said. They could dupe us in the Millie Maker too. They never seem to find their way to do that.
Didn't stop me from winning $200K.
Oh,
people will get cute. They'll switch one thing out of my winning lineup, and then all $30K will be mine. You're actually getting to go head to head against Kramer and I. Colby too scared.
Colby and his friends from the clubhouse. I'm sure Colby's going to get a lot.
I'm actually heading down to Myrtle Beach. Sign up? Yeah, I'm heading down to Myrtle Beach just to get we got tired of these courses here.
Get those boys at the beach club.
Gonna talk. I'll make sure to hit the Hooters that John Daly always goes to.
Well, the guy that shines Colby. You were telling me the guy that shines your golf cleats, Colby, instead of tipping him. Now he's normally pretty generous tipper. He gave him a free entry in the Splash Sports contest. So that's awesome. How you know Colby, class A.
Always be closing.
Yes, exactly. And we'll crowbar in some NFL, some draft talk as always. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, Second the Money Green. He's Ryan.
Congratulations to Gino, Italian American of the Week.
Kramer, let it ride.